What is good, hunters? Welcome back. We're back here continuing our hunting season. I'm going to be checking up on some herds here. Up in this area, I've been able to really get the genetics moving up a bit. Some about maybe in the 30 to 34s. I haven't really been getting anything much under that, so we're making progress. So we got some whitetail up ahead here. Seems like they're on the move a little bit. There have been some changes to herd management. We're still doing some testing to see how does that look, but overall I think we'll be able to manage our herds a lot more efficiently, because apparently there was an issue where when you aggressively start calling like a certain herd or in a certain area or habitat, the surrounding habitats will sort of do like a nosedive when it comes to genetics. But I think overall that has been fixed. It's been a few days since I've been testing it and really getting some good results. So I definitely want to share that with you as we go along. And for those that are new, I just started a hunting season series where we're doing some hunting on Ranger. Always looking for the most authentic hunting experience that we can get. Here on Ranger we have no helping hand. There's no HUD systems. We don't use any of the hunter scents. It's just us and the animals and nature, just the way we like it. We're going to be judging animals the best we can. There's going to be some guessing games. Lots of guessing. Because we can't really judge most of the animals here, but we have ways of tracking how long they live. And this really spices up the game a little bit because you don't know what you're shooting for the most part. And it really allows you to sort of tap into your senses and to finding sort of new ways to play the game. So I'm not sure where these whitetails went. Seems like they're on the move. Because they sound like they were coming from this direction. And I think I'm hearing some mule deers. Well, that's not good because I don't want to cause any secondary spooking here. So I'm hoping we have a favorable setup here. So if I can get a call from the herd, hopefully we can pinpoint their direction. If they stopped, or if they're on the move. Because I would think that they're probably heading here to drink. So my wind is not the greatest, but I need to head more north. But if they're on their way to drink, we can probably head down there and see if we can get some eyes on them. Okay, so they're just up ahead. We've got a zone here, so it's a rare zone. So I doubt that they're coming in this direction. So we're going to approach them nice and slow. Very nice, slow, methodical hunting. This is what we can expect here on Ranger and Way of the Hunter, is that you have this really nice way of stalking. Really taking your time. Getting eyes on your animals. seeing them grow, making judgments. It's a beautiful thing. If you're really into like relax type of hunting, you know, taking your time, this is definitely the game for you. So this can be very tricky because we're trying to get over this hill. We don't have a visual. All we have is your last call to kind of go on. There we go. So they're still straight ahead. So they're definitely on the move. So when you think of approaching animals, always remember that it's a hidden meter that building as you move closer to the animal. It's not a typical system where you're making noise as far as touching like bushes and stuff. It's more of a meter that builds the more you get closer to the animal. It's more of a meter that builds the closer you get to the animal. So as long as you get used to that type of a system, you'll be alright. Just don't take it as a typical system where you're making noise like in the brush. Always think about proximity between you and the animal. So I think they're just up ahead. Been hearing some noise. Now this can be very tricky because I'm not sure if they're actually on this hill or they're moving down. So whenever you hear animals make a sound like right around you, usually have about maybe 250 to 300 meters out that they're going to make noise. As far as I know in Ranger, I think that could be a little bit shorter. I cannot be sure. I'll have to look into that. But always think in that way. When you hear an animal call, give yourself at least 200 meters out so you can plan your approach. You don't want to be caught running, trying to hustle, you know, into their direction, because you don't know what they're doing. Usually sometimes one kind of breaks away from the herd and moves around, and that changes the whole spooking, you know, mechanics for that moment. So since you can't get eyes on the animal, you really have to approach in a way that will give you an advantage. Okay, so they're just to our left here a little bit. They seem to have stopped moving because I thought they were moving to our right. Sweet, so there they are. They're literally on the side of this mountain. Yeah, so they're on their way. Holy crap. We got a rare buck. No way. Holy crap, I've not seen one of these in a long time. This is good, guys. This is really, really good. I mean, at least this can be a really nice gauge for us to keep track of this herd. Do some experimenting here. That looks like a really nice buck. Where did he go? So I wonder where they're heading. So if that's the herd, they're probably either heading to drink. But that's a ways, but they're definitely heading that direction. There he is. That's a nice buck. So I gotta plan my approach now because I'm not sure what do I want to do. Do I want to stay down at the base or should I move up above them? But I think I'll just stay here. This angle should give me a better approach. Because trying to go all the way there, above them, that's going to be trouble. Man, I really hope that this buck can turn out to be something good. Yeah, there he is going down the hill. I want to get some eyes on him, like the best we can, so we can make a judgment. I don't think he's looking that great. I kind of got a glimpse of his antlers there, and I don't think they look that great. Seems I'm never lucky with these rare animals. I always get like, whenever I see them, I always realize that they're bad genetics. But you can barely see him there. When you look at those antlers, you can tell one side is a lot different than the other. It's not looking too good. So I gotta make a decision here. Do I want to take him out or do we let him grow? Which will be risky because if he's not good genetics, he could die maybe at a 4-star. Looking the way he is now, I doubt very much that he's maybe a 3-star, maybe. I doubt that very much. He seems very young. It's really hard to see what they're trying to do here. I was hoping they would go down to this flat area, but seems like they insist on going on this mountain. So what time is it? Okay, so it's 2 p.m. So I wonder if I'm catching them like leaving a zone. They could be going to rest. So you can barely see him up on the hill here. This is what I'm talking about when you play on Ranger. This would not happen if we had Hunter Sense on. We would have been able to see what he is, scan him, and we would be on our way. But because we're in Ranger, we don't have that luxury. We have to get eyes on him. And I love it. I love this intricate detail now that really pulls you more into your hunt. It's just a different beast. And again, there's pros and cons. Obviously you cannot tell, the maturity of these animals. If you don't have time to play this way, then this definitely probably is not for you. But if you have the time to invest, it's such an incredible experience. Is that water I'm seeing? That can't be. Yeah, that river is a bit further away, so who knows, they could be heading to drink. Okay, so I'm hearing some movement up ahead. Okay, there they are. So they're heading up this hill. Okay, so they seem to be in a rush. So at least we can see now where they're going. That was good. I felt if I pursued that a little bit more, we would have spooked them. Because again, we didn't think that they were here. I thought they were mostly over that way. And that's the kind of stuff you got to be careful for. I didn't even know there was a buck or an animal back here. Kind of assumed that they all ran off. So if you don't really take your time and allow that to develop, you wouldn't see that. And before you know it, you would spook them. Okay, so we're going to head in this direction. Kind of slowly follow them. Sometimes you'll be amazed of how much time you can spend just on one herd. Sometimes it can take you 45 minutes. Sometimes an hour, depending on where they are. Just to even get eyes on them. Now I don't want to use my collar because I want to be able to see what's in that herd. Before I take a shot, so we can track it. I need to know what's in it. That should give us an idea of what his genetics are. Because that's how I judge. By both killing and looking at the genetics or seeing what's actually in that herd. For all we know, this could be a high genetic. We just don't know that. But I need to see what the other guys look like. So we picked up a zone here. It's an opt-in zone. Yeah, so it's a sleeping zone. So where could they be going? Are they going to go to drink? So it's 3 p.m. You can actually check the encyclopedia if you want. So at 3 p.m., yeah. It's their sleeping zone. So there's a high chance they can just be around here. They might just stick around. Unless they're trying to head somewhere else. That's pretty much on point. Yeah, 316. So they should be able to rest here, but the way they were moving, it seems like they had another agenda. So they're just up ahead here. And you can see that this zone is pretty big. And it's the same resting zone. So you might have a zone, you might find a zone, but you can see how big of a wide range this could be. Okay, so they know that I'm here. So in a situation like this, you can see how they're pacing back and forth, which means they sense my presence. I am in their zone, but this is where they want to be. So they're going to stick around here for a little bit. And you're gonna see this happen very often, where you're going to be in a preferred zone. What I mean by that is whenever you load the game, the animals have a preferred zone that they would go to. Now they also are changing zones as the day goes along. As you can see in the encyclopedia, it's around 3 p.m. They want to come here to rest. So this is a preferred zone. So they're coming here, and then if you're in their vicinity, this is what happens. They would pace back and forth because this is where they want to come. They want to come and rest here on this zone. Now, if this zone was not a preferred zone, they would be moving. They would pretty much move on. They won't stick around too long. So now that we got some eyes on the herd, yeah, he looks better than I thought. Yeah, we're gonna watch him. Looks a lot better than I thought. Now the entire herd doesn't seem too great. This guy is not bad. But we're definitely gonna come back here and check these guys out. I don't think they'll come to my call, but I'll try. Because now that they're alerted to my presence, there's a high chance they won't really respond to the call. But you never know. If you wait long enough, their status will change to calm, and there's a chance that it will come in. If not, we know exactly where these guys are. In this vicinity. If nothing comes in, we won't be taking a shot, so which means we won't be building any hunting pressure. So you can come back here at 3 p.m. and there's a chance you can find him here again, if that's the way you want to hunt. I don't hunt by time. I don't check to see when animals eat or drink. I don't really want that to be the way I hunt. I like to have an organic approach to the game. So I will just come here whenever. Just so I'm not just, being this robotic checking. But obviously, eventually, the more you hunt, the more you're going to kind of get a sense as to where animals are. It is what it is. But that's done the way I choose to hunt. Either way, I don't check times of when the animals drink or not. Yeah, so these guys are just pacing. I don't think they're going to respond. But this is a nice herd. The more I see it, the more I realize, okay, this is a decent herd. So are we getting some action here, or are they just investigating? Because we got a doe coming in there. So we got this guy coming in. We got another guy here, but I can't be sure if they're responding to the call. They actually want to get to the zone. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to stay put. Maybe let them swoop, because what I really want to do here is get some eyes on this herd. Which we did. We have accomplished that. The situation is not favorable because now they're trying to force their way into their zone. Clearly, we cannot tell if they're responding to the call or not, which we can safely say they are not. So that's a problem. So you're going to find yourself in a situation where you can't make a shot. Because one, you couldn't use a collar. Two, you kind of want to be cautious of what you're shooting. So you're going to end up in a situation like this where it's pretty much a wash. Because I'm not going to risk shooting them here, taking out a high genetic, and causing some hunting pressure. I'd rather leave them alone and leave this for another day. And these are the kind of decisions you gotta make. Again, we don't have hunter sense, so we can't say, okay, this is what we got, let's move on. You have to allow this to play out. So I expect them to leave the zone. I don't think they're going to be hanging around. But at least we got that rare animal that we can track. And we can always come back and see how this herd is doing. That's perfect. I'm really, really happy that worked out that way. So it still sounds like they're hanging around, but I expect them eventually to move on. So we can try calling them again. See if we get a better scenario going on here. Because if they're moving on, there's a chance that they may respond to the call. If they're just pacing around, then we're back to square one. But I just can't trust anything that's coming in here. Too much activity going on, too much moving around. Okay, so they're moving away. Very slowly. But I don't think they're going to respond. But that's okay. Next time we're going to come back in this area and we're going to catch them in a different scenario. We'll see if we can actually kind of attract or call in one of these guys. But overall, I'm very pleased with this herd. I'm definitely going to watch our boy grow. Yeah, so they're still pacing back and forth. So based on the way those antlers look on him, I'm thinking he's probably maybe in the 70s as far as genetics. He probably won't go far. You can see in the other herds here that there's potential. And that's what we want to track. So they're not responding to the call. Probably because of the situation. But we're going to come back and catch them another day and make a better informed decision. And this is the kind of hunts you're going to run into at times where you won't be able to even get a shot off because you don't need to. You're going to be observing, you're going to be taking notes. spending some time observing the herd. And that's really a part of the way of the hunter that I really love, and that's not really seen much, is that not every situation you're going to be shooting or have an opportunity to take an animal out. Sometimes you're just going to be observing, seeing what you got, and making an informed decision. So I'm not going to shoot anything from here. I don't trust it. They all look good. Give or take 1 or 2. So this is a very nice herd. And they really want to come here and rest, so this might not turn into anything great. So in this situation, I'll just usually walk away and hit up like another herd. So this is good, guys. Next time, on the next episode, we're going to come back here and check these guys out, see how they're growing. Probably hit up some more herds up in this area, see what we can get. But this area is really working out nicely for me. From Rivermouth to Green Eggs, all the way up here to Cottonwood, this whole area is really nicely working out for me. I'm getting some good genetics, minimum like in the 30s. So we're going to get some good stuff here in a couple of days or weeks, if you want to say so. So I think I'm going to leave the episode there. It's really, really nice to come across this albino whitetail. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on this guy. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.